Welcome back to Vibe Vision, where we dive deep into the world of classic cars that define style, muscle, and pure automotive passion. Today, we're taking a closer look at one of Chevrolet's most underrated mid-70s legends, the 1974 Chevrolet Laguna S-3. This car marked a turning point in Chevrolet's mid-size lineup, blending muscle car heritage with luxury and a touch of NASCAR-bred performance. It's a car that doesn't always get the spotlight it deserves, but once you understand what it brought to the table, you'll see why enthusiasts still talk about it today. Let's start by talking about its exterior. The 1974 Chevrolet Laguna S-3 had a look that was all its own. The '74 model year was the first time Chevrolet introduced the S-3 trim under the Laguna name, and it came right when the muscle car era was shifting. The Laguna replaced the Chevelle SS as the performance-oriented midsize Chevy. But instead of raw aggression, the S-3 brought a more refined aerodynamic design. Up front, you immediately notice the unique urethane front end, a sleek body-colored nose that set it apart from every other A-body Chevrolet on the road. This wasn't just for looks. The aerodynamic design helped reduce drag, something NASCAR teams quickly appreciated. The twin rectangular headlights and wraparound bumper gave it a distinctive, almost European flair compared to the boxier front ends of earlier Chevelle. The grille sat low and wide, emphasizing the car's stance, and the sculpted fenders gave the Laguna S-3 a muscular yet sophisticated presence. From the side, the car carried that classic long hood short deck profile, with sweeping body lines and chrome trim that caught the light beautifully. Most models came with stylish sport mirrors, rally wheels, and optional vinyl tops, adding to the upscale appeal Chevrolet was aiming for. At the rear, the Laguna continued the refined look with a sloping rear deck and rectangular tail lights integrated neatly into the bumper design. Unlike the flashy stripes and badges of earlier muscle cars, the Laguna S-3 relied on clean lines and subtle badging to make its statement. It was sporty without shouting about it, elegant but still packing plenty of muscle under the hood. The overall fit and finish were a step up from previous Chevelle, reflecting Chevrolet's shift toward a more refined driving experience for the mid-70s market. Under the skin, the 1974 Laguna S-3 was built on GM's A-body platform and came with a choice of several V8 engines. The standard setup was the 350 cubic inch small block V8, delivering around 145 to 175 horsepower depending on configuration. But the real excitement came with the optional engines. Buyers could upgrade to a 400 cubic inch small block or the legendary 454 cubic inch big block V8. The 454 was the heart of what made the Laguna S-3 special, a torque monster capable of delivering that old-school muscle car feel even in an era dominated by emissions regulations. When it came to performance, the Laguna S-3 wasn't about blistering acceleration times anymore, but rather about smooth, confident power. The 454 engine could still launch the car with authority, especially with the 3-speed turbo-high-dramatic automatic transmission. Even though horsepower ratings were lower on paper due to new measurement standards and emissions controls, the real-world performance remained impressive for a full-size car of the era. It could cruise comfortably at highway speeds and still have plenty of torque in reserve when you pressed the throttle. Chevrolet also gave the Laguna S-3 some handling advantages over its predecessors. With its revised suspension, wider stance, and better weight distribution, the car handled corners with more stability than most other American midsize cars of the time. The power steering was light but responsive, and the ride quality struck a nice balance between comfort and control. The Laguna S-3 became a favorite among NASCAR drivers, thanks in large part to its aerodynamic front end and improved chassis. It was literally built to slice through the air on the track, and that heritage bled into the street version too. Driving the 1974 Laguna S-3 felt solid and planted. The car had presence, that kind of smooth, confident ride that made you feel like you were commanding something substantial. It wasn't a lightweight sports car, but rather a grand touring muscle car built for the open road. You could load it up with passengers, enjoy the comfortable ride, and still have that big V8 burble reminding you of its muscle car DNA. Moving inside, the Laguna S-3 offered a taste of '70s luxury. The interior was designed with comfort in mind, featuring plush bench or optional bucket seats with high-quality vinyl or cloth upholstery. The dashboard had a clean, sweeping design, with simple analog gauges that gave the driver all the essential information at a glance. The steering wheel had a sporty look with a soft touch rim, and the center console, when equipped, added a touch of class to the cabin. Everything inside the Laguna S-3 was aimed at blending sportiness with everyday comfort. The materials were typical for the era, lots of padded vinyl, chrome trim accents, and faux wood grain, but it was put together with care. You could tell Chevrolet wanted this car to feel like more than just another Chevelle. Even the sound insulation was improved, keeping road noise to a minimum and allowing the deep rumble of the V8 to be the main soundtrack. It's also worth mentioning that, for 1974, the Laguna S-3 came loaded with standard features that reflected its premium status. Power steering and power brakes came standard, along with air conditioning options, AM/FM stereo, and full carpeting. It was clear that Chevrolet wanted to appeal not only to muscle car enthusiasts, but also to buyers who wanted a comfortable, stylish cruiser. What makes the 1974 Laguna S-3 so interesting today is how it represents a unique transition in automotive history. It came right as the muscle car era was winding down and the personal luxury car era was taking over. The Laguna managed to capture a bit of both worlds. It had the looks and spirit of a performance car, but the refinement and comfort of a luxury coupe. Its aerodynamic design even foreshadowed trends that would define late 70s and early 80s cars, making it ahead of its time in some ways. Collectors and enthusiasts today often look back at the Laguna S-3 as a hidden gem. It's not as instantly recognizable as a Chevrolet SS or a Camaro Z28, but that's part of its charm. Its rarity, especially in good condition, has made it more desirable in recent years. Many fans also appreciate its connection to NASCAR history. The same design that made it stylish on the street made it a winner on the track. In fact, NASCAR legends like Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison drove Laguna-based race cars in the mid-70s, which helped cement its reputation for performance. On today's roads, spotting a 1974 Chevrolet Laguna S-3 is a rare treat. Its long, flowing body lines, distinctive front end, and unmistakable 70s vibe make it stand out instantly. It's a car that deserves more recognition, not just for what it was, but for what it represented. A bridge between two defining eras of American automotive design. So, when you think of 70s performance cars, don't overlook the Laguna S-3. It might not have the same fame as its Chevelle predecessors, but it brought something new to the table: style, refinement, and a forward-thinking approach that still feels special today. Whether you're admiring it for its NASCAR roots, its big block power, or its elegant looks, the 1974 Chevrolet Laguna S-3 remains a true symbol of innovation during a time of change. Thanks for tuning in to Vibe Vision, where we celebrate the classics that shaped automotive history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1974 Chevrolet Laguna S-3, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about your favorite mid-70s Chevy. There's always more to explore, more engines to roar, and more stories to tell right here on Vibe Vision.